I want to start with Black Holler. I love that we found out last night at the screening. Your person who does your music happens to be your stoner in the film, your brother Bruce.
Yes.
I was blown away by that because the amount of music in there, I thought it was actually songs that you guys had found, but kind of tell me about getting him to do all this work.
I was so glad that I remembered to say that because a lot of people think that they are familiar with the music. They're like, I know that song. And I'm like, no, you don't. It's a completely original score, almost a completely original score, and an absolutely completely original soundtrack. So my brother's name is Bruce Ervin. He's just a real all-around impressive musician. He actually plays the saxophone, although he uses the saxophone in a different way in the movie. And he plays the guitar and the piano, and he can just kind of pick up anything and go for it. But this was his first feature film score, and he's since done a few more shorts for people. I think he's got such a talent for it, and I think he really enjoyed it. And honestly, he completed the soundtrack and score in an unbelievably short amount of time. The movie took a very long time, and he worked on some of the soundtrack here and there, but I mean, he just kind of locked himself in his room for like a couple weeks and really did most of it in a really short amount of time.
I think in the Q&A you said 2014.
So we had a Kickstarter in the fall of 2014, and we were able to raise over $6,000, and we had a sponsorship for another $1,000. And at that point, Black Holler was a short, about 45 minutes long. And when we raised the money, we thought, I think that we could make this a feature. Like, I think that we could expand the story a little bit. And we'd been shooting the short, and we really wanted to have a fall movie because fall is so beautiful in Tennessee. But the fall is also a really short season. So we were like, there's no way we can finish this. So we kind of went back to the drawing board, completed it as a feature with Rachel Ward-Hagen and Jason Berg and myself. And then we had rehearsals in the spring of 2015. We started shooting. And that lasted through that season. And then we did some more in 2016. And then editing and a little bit of pickups even later. But we premiered at the Belcourt Theater in Nashville, Tennessee in April of 2017.
Let's talk a bit about casting. You have a theater background.
Yes.
So does a lot of your talent. In particular, Laquita in the film is someone you've known for a while.
Yes. I went to Middle Tennessee State University and majored in theater. Rachel Ward-Hagen minored in theater and majored in mass comm. So we all sort of knew each other through MTSU, where I met a lot of the other cast members as well, but also just I met Tamika Robinson Still in the theater community of Nashville. And she's a big deal in Nashville, and like she was voted Best Local Actress in 2017 in the Nashville scene poll, and she just starred in Raisin in the Sun with Eddie George, and she's just now kind of getting into TV as well, but this was her first leading role in a feature film.
You know, there's so many wonderful 80s reference. I think Friday the 13th is obvious, Evil Dead, but some of the comedic ones really stand out as well. You brought up last night Revenge of the Nerds in particular.
Yes.
Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about getting to kind of hone in on stuff that you've grown up loving and getting to have those little moments. There's a Stranger Things moment in the film. How much fun is it to kind of poke fun, but also this is anyone who's lived through the 80s, this is our childhood.
Right. This is an homage. I did grow up loving the comedies, and then in college I got into horror movies. I started watching all the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraisers, all of that. And because I was too scared before college, really. And then Rachel Ward-Hagen was the one who said, let's write a horror movie. And I'd had the idea of really small, like simple idea of just kind of a woman of color outsmarting all of the campers around her. We got together and started writing it and just had so much fun with the references and thinking like, well, we'll use this as a model for this character and borrow from bits and pieces. And the movie was rewritten so many times, and we would, improvise on set as well. So I think everybody felt the love of the 80s, and just, it was a lot of fun to be on set and be a part of that 80s world.
I've got to ask, it's a low-budgeted feature. Special effects-wise, you guys have a lot of fun with the stick,
yes.
The movement of the trees. Talk to me a bit about getting away with kind of what you guys had there, but it does... Evil Dead came to mind immediately. Mm-hmm. How much fun was it to work with you had to do your own type of special effects?
I had so much fun with that, and I think a lot of us did. There were some times when we thought someone was going to help us that would fall through, and we'd think, well, how do we make a meat shirt today? And so we'd have to kind of get creative on the spot. But I think everybody was really up for that challenge, and Jason Berg, the director, did some really clever things with so one of the characters' death scene is in like a kind of quicksand. And he dug the hole himself, dug a hole, a very large hole, before his shoot. And there were a lot of times like that where we'd get in and figure something out. But, shooting a lot of things in reverse, made it possible. And we did have a little bit of CGI, which, Jason Berg did some of the special effects with some like lightning bolts, and then there was sort of a creature that Terrence Boyce did.
Is that the underwater mummy?
Yeah.
What's it mean to come out to a festival like Women Texas Film Festival that not only showcases women in front of the camera but behind the camera? You do have a female lead. Mm-hmm. You yourself, co-written by two women. Mm-hmm. It's talk to me a bit about that. That's got to be something special.
I'm so honored to be a part of this festival, and like to be received as well as we were, and have people get it. So I can't say how honored I am to be a part of this festival. It's amazing, and I'm so excited to see more of the movies, and I just love it, and it's amazing. It's great.
So Heidi, what's coming up next for you? Do you have any more feature ideas you want to come out with, and what can we anticipate?
Well, Rachel Ward Hagen and I wrote another feature-length screenplay, which we're looking to see about partnering with the production company instead of going the crowdfunding route. And actually, Jesse Perry, who plays Professor Thompson, wrote a sequel to Black Hollers.
Well, Heidi, I was blown away. I was one of those people that loved it last night, and in particular, the professor's incantation. I've heard that before. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's another reference to Child's Play.
Yeah. But thank you for bringing it to the festival. It was so exciting to see the film, and one of the funnier horror films we've seen in a long time.